Welcome viewers to the inaugural official first broadcast of Slipstream. Tonight we're bringing you round 4 of season 4 of the Star Master Australian Championship. Hopefully we're in for a good race tonight. In the commentary box tonight with me I have Andrew Gaines. Andrew, how are you this evening?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thanks. Feeling pretty good. Looking forward to this race. Bathurst is always an interesting and exciting race, so I'm really looking forward to getting underway.
Yeah, hopefully these guys get through the first lap without too much trouble. Getting through the S's there down that mountain can cause a few issues, especially if there's an accident at the beginning of the field. It could cause a bit of a pile-up, so hopefully we have a clean start to this race. I'll just quickly take the viewers through the track guide. Thanks to Bernie from RRTV for allowing us to use his overlays. He's put in some hard work here. Also shout out to Jay and Seb from V8's Online for their support and encouragement too in getting this venture off the ground. Had a few issues before this started, so we're running a bit late. As you can see, Bathurst, we're 6 kilometres long. Mostly cloudy out there today. Wind speed 18 kilometres an hour. Humidity's 39. Air temp's 22 and the track temp is 28 degrees. Just finishing up their warm-up now and I'll be able to take you through the grid. Just need to reset the overlay, sorry folks. Lights are about to go green, here we go. We're off. Looks like a fairly clean start so far. Everyone's got off the line well. Heading down into turn 1. I've just watched the blink view from here as we watch the cars come up Mountain Straight. Looks like everyone's got through quite cleanly on this opening lap.
It's some good clean driving to get through those first couple of corners.
Yeah, these walls are pretty close here, so yeah, it's definitely well done for the drivers getting through and across the top as quickly and as cleanly as they can. We'll head back off to the leader. Heading down through the S is always a really good part of the track, this, but quite easy to get this car unstable on the brakes, especially on cold tyres. Looks like we've got Ben Smith from ERA out in front there, followed by Marcelo Rivera in second place. Josh Anderson in third. Looks like he's making a move on Marcelo. Josh is flashing a bit there. That would be good for these guys trying to race closely and cleanly. Sorry guys, just experiencing technical difficulties.
Some great racing in the lead pack there.
Alright, sorry about that folks, back again. As you can see, the battle up front is quite tight between this lead group, and there's a little bit of a gap back from these guys. Looks like we've had a few early pit stops so far, including one person's been through the pit lane twice. I'm not sure if that's for damage or for penalties or not, but yeah, it's unfortunate for them. That's going to put them back towards the back of the pack. Certainly some intense fighting up in front of the field here. We'll try and have a look back to see whether there's any other battles going on through the field. Looks like we've got AJ Bear and James Keane having a good battle. This is the battle for 6th and 7th place. Scott Newton and Jason Bent heading side by side up into Griffin's Bend. See who decides to brake late. These cars can run side by side, so it'll be interesting to see how these guys go. Great driving by both of them there, but cutting is not really a too wide corner. And looks like Scott Newton's very cleverly backed out of that one. We'll go back up the pack here, up to the front. Marcelo Rivera is our leader. Riley Preston in second place, and Joshua Anderson currently sitting in third. Looks like they've started to make a bit of a break from Josh Burden, who's having an awesome race. He hasn't been too successful recently in this series, but good to see Josh has found some pace and he's back up there again in fourth place. Not too far off the podium position.
It's also interesting to see Marcelo is the defending champion at the moment. In the point standings, he's way down in 23rd, so obviously trying to make amends with that and maybe race win, push him back up the scoreboard.
Yes, definitely. I believe he had to sit out last round. Not 100% sure on why that was, but I was actually told he wouldn't be able to race for a few races, so he's obviously definitely keen to try and defend that title, probably because his teammates Ben Smith and Riley Preston are absolutely running away with this championship at the moment. For both Riley and Ben, they're both in the same team, so they're also well ahead in the team's championship as well at this early stage of the season. So I'm sure that inter-team rivalry with ERA, which they've got about 6 teams in this series, so I'm sure that inter-team rivalry will be feeding these guys to try and do the best they can.
Yeah, I tried calling the ERA headquarters earlier on today, but it seems like everyone's racing in this race. There's nobody home.
Yeah, there is quite a few of them. Yeah, they're certainly a very large team, and we do thank them for their support in continuing to race in this series. Obviously, with 6 teams, there's 12 cars that makes up this field. So yeah, they definitely. That's how this series continues, is from the support of the drivers. So it's not just ERA, but it's all those drivers that participate every week, no matter what their results are. So yeah, big shout out to all those drivers, and thank you for participating to all of them.
I think what's interesting, Trent, as well, is it's only our 4th season, but we've never had a dual champion either. And at this stage, Marcelo's probably the only one that can actually do that, but he's got some work cut out for him to beat some of his teammates to do that.
Yeah, that is a good point, actually. We haven't had a repeat series winner. I believe it was Dylan Shepherd took out the first season from One Performance Racing. Michael Schreier from Synergy Sim Racing Season 2, and obviously Marcelo is defending champion from Season 3 last season. So yeah, he'll want to put himself in a strong position to try and defend that title. I know he is keen to try and defend it, so hopefully he can put in a good result. And also keep in mind that there is 2 drop rounds available for the drivers. It's also important to note to the viewers that anyone who has been following this series in the past, that there has been a bit of a change to the point system. Previously there was quite a large gap between winning 2nd and 3rd places and then the rest of the field, whereas now there's only 1 point difference for each position. So first place will take 100 points, and then it's 1 point less as you work your way backwards. So it's hoping that will pay off for those that can be consistent racers, because we do have a lot of those guys that do hang around the top 5, top 10 consistently. And we do have the guys that win a few races, but they also have quite a few bad races. So it should be interesting this season how that pans out with those even points. Just look a bit further back. David Jellings here having a bit of a battle with Mark Rayner by the look of it. Sorry guys, I do want to try and focus on a few cars further back in the field, just to make sure everyone, that's where a lot of the good racing is happening. So here we have Michael Hammond, David Arnold and Ashley Thomas fairly closely running together. This is fight for 21st, 22nd and 23rd places.
What I like about this series, Trent, is that over the last four seasons, we've seen a couple of guys come in pretty new to the car which weren't particularly fast, but now you can see them up in the top split, and they're probably midfielders. So you can see there's really not much in the speed of each driver. It's more of the consistency. If you can push out those really fast qualifying laps, lap after lap, you start to build up that little bit of a gap. But overall, in straight line speed or one lap speed, it's really not that much in it.
I think that's why the racing is usually pretty good in this series. Like you said, it is a fixed setup series. Oh, as you see, Michael Hammond, he's unfortunately collected Ashley Thomas at the top of the mountain there. I might just go back for a quick replay. As you see, Michael's gotten loose. Ashley's coming up behind him. Comes straight back on track. There's nothing Ashley could do there, and unfortunately, he's a bit of an innocent bystander. Gets taken out by Michael there. Back to live pictures now. It looks like Michael got away with it fairly unscathed. He does have a bit of wing damage there. I'm not sure if he's got any suspension damage or not. But I'm sure that actually Michael's already been in the pits, so we might see him come in if the damage is bad enough to take on that one free fast repair that the drivers get. For any of the new viewers out there, what that means is that it's effectively like the driver's getting a brand new car. They get to do that once in each race instead of having to sit there waiting for the repairs to be done manually. Each driver gets that option to take that one instant brand new car and drive on their way. This battle at the top is now, looks like it's about a 5 or, see, there's quite a few cars at the top. 9 drivers looks like are covered by 6.5 seconds, so it's definitely on at the top here. Josh Burden, who we mentioned earlier in the race, isn't in this group at the moment, and that's because he's pitted. He's stopped, 12.6 second stop. He's currently the lead car having pitted, and he's currently in 12th place.
I think we've just had a change of lead as well, Trent.
Yes, Marcelo has taken the lead from Riley Preston, but not sure how long that will live. He looks like he's, Marcelo is choosing this option to take a pit stop. Might just stick with Marcelo and go on board with him while he does his pit stop.
This is the third time we've been here in the series at Bathurst. Season 1, round 4, I think it was. It'll be interesting to know, Trent, that you actually scored the fastest lap time in that race. It's quite interesting, the difference in the lap times was a 2:03.9 back then.
Yeah, there's definitely some updates to the car that it lost quite a lot of speed through the separate series, but it is starting to get some of that speed back. So that's a close pit exit there. It was James Keane that pitted with Marcelo there, and they almost come together. Pit stop was almost a second faster from James Keane, so he's made up a lot of time there on Marcelo on that pit stop. And just going back to what Andrew just pointed to before, yeah, every season iRacing do release new updates to the cars and the tracks and whatnot. So there is slight differences in handling and grip and things like that season on season, which is why we'll see times fluctuate sometimes. From season 1 was probably the quickest the car's been in recent times, but the speed is slowly starting to come back to what those times were. Tell you what, Josh Burton is right behind these two now, so this is basically the effective fight for the lead of the race. These three guys have all made their pit stops. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out at the end. We'll go back to our leader, Riley Preston, who's had a bit of a moment off track there, but we'll see whether or not he reacts to Marcelo pitting. No, he stays out, but Josh Anderson has come into the pits. Need to make special note here of AJ Bear. He's been in the series for quite a while, and he seems to have a lot of speed around this track in particular. we do run an open setup series which has finished for the year. We'll be running that again next year, called SMAC, Open Star Mazda Australian Championship. And AJ actually took out that race by a pretty big margin. I think it was about 20 or 30 seconds he ended up winning that race by. And over the weekend, Star Mazda Australian Championship did support the OSR V8 Supercar Online Premier Series. And AJ won race 2 on Sunday morning, and he actually won that race by about 20 or 30 seconds too. So yeah, shout out to him, and he's definitely got speed at this track, and yeah, it's good to see him up there. He's second at the moment, but he's still yet to pit.
Looks like Ashley Thomas is in the pits getting some repairs. He's been in there for a while, so he may have used his fast repair earlier on in the race.
That's unfortunate. He was involved with that incident with Michael Hammond at the top of the mountain, so maybe he'd already used one before that, or he's had a second incident since then. So it's a shame for Ashley Thomas. He's one of those people that you were touching on earlier, who have been in the series for a while, and they're really sort of starting to be solid midfielders and just getting faster every season.
Yeah, that's right. And there's about 3 of them in the pits at the moment, sitting there for a long period of time. So I think all 3 of them have used up their fast repairs and sitting there waiting for their cars to get repaired. Michael Trooper is one of them.
Yeah, certainly been in the pits for a long time, those guys. So unfortunate for them guys to come to grief, but unfortunately that's what Bathurst is like. Sort of these walls are always close, and when they bite, they definitely bite hard. Back on the leader again, Riley Preston. He still hasn't pitted. He's staying out for yet another lap, so he must feel that he's pretty comfortable out there lapping by himself, because he doesn't really have any other cars around him other than a little bit of lap traffic coming up too. But our first car to have pitted is Marcelo Rivera, and he's currently 26.6 seconds behind. So that's about, I'm not sure how long pit lane transit is. I should have done some research, but I'm not sure if that's going to be a big enough gap. As you look back to this battle for the lead, it's now looks like 5 cars. Marcelo's actually made a bit of a break on these other 4 guys, so they're probably tied up in a bit of a battle, and it's allowed Marcelo to make a bit of a break.
It's a good job some of these ERA cars are painted differently, else we would be having a lot of trouble.
Yeah, there's a few different teams out there. I think Maverick Welding and Demidov Innovations are their 2 main sponsors, but each team I think has, so each sponsor has 3 teams in it, so it's, even though they're the same team, they look a little bit different. That's why.
Ashley Thomas is back out, but I can see his front left wing is pretty badly damaged, so that's probably going to be affecting his aero and grip and speed overall.
As we just have a look at Ashley Thomas now, making his way around. And yeah, we can see the front wing there. Just got a little bit of damage to it. These cars, although they are downforce cars, they aren't designed to have a lot of downforce, so hopefully that damage won't affect him too much. He might feel a little bit understeery, especially coming down through the S's, but the cars still have a fair bit of grip, even though they have a little bit of wing damage. If anything, it might affect the balance just a little bit, and he could cop a little bit of drag down the straight, so his top speed might be down a little.
Yeah, these cars run in excess of 240 kilometers an hour, so they're quite quick and handy.
It looks like our leader has just come into the pits, and all 5 top cars are now in the pits. So we'll have a look at Marcelo Rivera. He's first to pit, and it looks like he might come through with the lead here. He's going to be close. And there we go. So I think the big winner out of that is James Keane. He actually came from a fair way back. Yeah, and these other guys behind here have certainly started to break up a bit. It looks like AJ Baird, he's now in a genuine 6th position. He has made his pit stop as well, so he's right up there with these guys as well. Josh Anderson, we saw earlier, he was in that lead pack, so he's about 4 seconds off the lead now. Not sure what happened to him. Looks like it's an all ERA podium at the moment, the top 3 guys. And they're all off by themselves as well, so yeah, these guys are definitely a class above the field at the moment. Still 6 laps to go, so anything can still happen in this race. As you see James Keane sizing up a move on Marcelo Rivera, but looks like he's thought better of it and he's decided to just tuck back in and not try and make that pass.
Yeah, it's a good battle between Joshua and Matthew Barron for 9th position.
Yeah, they're certainly going toe-to-toe. I think it could be costing them some time though, because they seem to be falling further and further back from that lead trio. Might just go on board for a lap here with Josh Anderson.
Nice little battle with Grant Hines and Scott Goodman. 18th position. Unfortunately, we've had about 8 retirements so far.
Oops, and just realised my mic was muted. So I've been talking to myself for a little while.
Not unusual.
I'm just looking at Grant Hines at the moment. He's a newcomer to the series this season. It's good to see he's made to the top split as well, and running a very competitive 17th place at the moment. So, yeah, well done to him. He's had a pretty long pit stop actually. He was running close to the top 10 earlier on, so he must have taken tyres on his stop, which some drivers, especially new ones, do forget to do in this series. You generally don't need to take on tyres in this car, especially for these 100-kilometre races. They barely use up the tyres at all. Having said that though, you can actually push a little bit and might make them a bit hot, but usually bring them back within a lap or so just by cooling it off a little bit. And I've just had Josh Anderson disappear off my timing screen. Might just go back and see whether or not anything in particular happened, or whether he just dropped off the server.
Yeah, look, he's not visible, I don't think. He's back. He's currently sitting in fourth.
Also disappeared for quite a while there. Quite unusual. Looking back at the front again, yeah, these ERA guys are still going for it, all three of them. But Josh and Matthew Barron behind them has started to catch them just a little bit. Maybe these guys at the front are starting to battle while those two started to settle down a little bit. So we'll see whether or not these guys will catch up or not. And we've had an incident with Matthew Barron by the looks. Just go back for a replay though. He's blown an engine. That's a shame. You don't often see the engines go in these, but he's got too aggressive on the downshift by the looks of it, and yeah, that motor's gone. And unfortunately, that's going to put Matthew out of the race. He might escape and get a tow back to the pits. If he still has a fast repair, they can repair that engine. But looks like race done for him, which is a shame. He was running top 5 at the time.
Yeah, he's going to be very disappointed with that.
What that does do now is actually left Josh Anderson by himself, so he doesn't have to worry about fighting with the car now. So with these three at the front do start to scrap over these last 3 laps, Josh might be able to catch them and try and fight with them for a possible podium position. Josh traditionally actually he doesn't get a chance to race in a lot of these races because they are a bit late for him at night, and any races that he broadcasts usually he doesn't have so good a run in. So for his sake, Josh, I hope you have a good one, mate. And so far so good. You sit in 4th position, so hopefully I haven't just put the mocker on him.
Interesting up front with a bit of a draft coming down the chase.
They're certainly not hanging around, these guys. Obviously, they're not fighting too aggressively, so they obviously are working together a little bit. Riley's just gone off track there, so he's lost a little bit of touch. That's going to put him maybe in a danger zone for Josh, because once he gets into that slipstream, that's going to be a free kick for Josh. So we've got 2 laps to go. Up front we've got Marcelo Rivera leading, James Keane in 2nd with Riley Preston in 3rd place. Josh Anderson's currently in 4th position. We have Mark Rayner. Oh, there's a good battle here actually. Mark Rayner, AJ Bear and Justin Strickland. 3A battle with 2 to go. Looks like Justin's got up the inside of AJ there. Takes that position. We'll go further back through the field. We've got David Jellings currently in 8th position. Jake Maloney in 9th. And Jason Bentz rounds out our top 10. Again, back at the front. Sorry to keep going back to the front, guys. Unfortunately, that's where the action actually is, and they're all very close together. So, yeah, if I see any other battles throughout the pack, I'll certainly move to them. But being that the last 2 laps, this is probably when we'll probably see these guys start to get a little bit more aggressive and trying to get an advantage over the other person.
It's going to be really interesting, obviously, with the team dynamics, just to see how hard they push, and you know, anything can happen. But they're all on the same team, so I guess they've got to watch out for each other as well.
Yeah, it's definitely always a consideration that will play in their mind, is that this is my teammate, so I've got to, if I make this move, it has to be clean. As we see Riley Preston make a move on James Keane there. Gets out the corner. James might get out the inside of him, but Riley might not. Looks like James is going to sit station there, so I think Riley might have been hanging out the back of this trio, just minding his time. So we see Marcelo getting aggressive, making those moves across the track. And as we can see behind them, Josh Anderson's definitely starting to catch up.
It's going to be a great finish. Looks like they're trying to weave just to break that toe, just to make sure there's no advantage from behind.
Yeah, what I think they're doing though is weaving. I don't know if it helps or not, but yeah, that's allowed Marcelo to now he's 7/10 of a second ahead of these guys. And that side by side through turn 2 is just going to help that even more. So unless something happens here, I think Marcelo's actually got this one done. I'd call it now. He's got a big enough gap. I don't think even the draft is going to help them down Conrod Straight.
No, I think the other two ERA boys battling out's really helped him get that little bit extra lead.
And that's certainly put Josh Anderson on the back of these guys too. So still a podium position is possible for Josh Anderson if he plays his cards right. And he's going to be close enough for that toe down Conrod, so it's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, he's not going to take any prisoners, and not being part of the team, he's not really going to worry too much. I think I guess he's got a little bit of redemption to do after his last couple of episodes, so he'll be going for it.
Yeah, it looks like James Keane actually hit that wall there, coming out of elbow. So it was interesting if Josh Anderson can get the toe here, but Keane's got the toe off his teammate as well, so the pass is still going to be hard for Josh to do, but you know he's definitely going to throw it down the inside here.
Interesting to see what's going on with the radio chatter between those two teammates right now.
Yeah, I'm sure that was close. I'm sure that Riley Preston will be telling Keane to block him. So we see Marcelo Rivera come down to the last corner and takes the win. So Marcelo Rivera first, Riley Preston second. Oh, James Keane, that was
nice.
very close for third and fourth place there. And Mark Rayner, Justin Strickland, AJ Bear. We got David Jellings. Here comes Jake Maloney into the last corner for 9th place. And now Jason Bentz for 10th position.
It's a great result for Marcelo and his championship hopes, and his hopes of becoming the first dual champion, actually.
Yeah, it's definitely certainly not going to do him any harm taking that win. It'd be interesting to know whether there was any team orders there or not, because Riley Preston is currently sitting second in the championship. And Ben Smith was a notable absence in this race this evening. Actually, no.
He had a retirement, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like it. He's 31st on my screen, so it must have been something happened to him at the start or couldn't quite grid.
Of course, it's still early days. Still a long way to go in the championship, another 8 rounds or so.
Yeah, that's true. And as we mentioned earlier, there is 2 drop rounds that the drivers get, so they might have bad round, and that should be fine. And looks like Brendan Oakes was our last final finisher, so I'll just quickly take you through the results. So Marcelo Rivera takes the win tonight. In second place is Riley Preston. James Keane wraps out the podium, so it's an all ERA podium there tonight. Josh Anderson, good result for him, coming home 4th. Almost got that 3rd position, as 1/10 of a second between him and James Keane at the end there, so well done to Josh. Mark Rayner is 5th. Justin Strickland, AJ Baird, David Jellings. Good result for David. He's pretty constantly in the top 10, so it's good to see him up there again. Jake Maloney and then Jason Bentz round out the top 10. In 11th we have David Arnold. 12th Nino Natal. Michael Rushton, Paul Tarjavara. Grant Hines in 15th. Good result for Grant there. 16th Andrew Kiss. 17th Scott Goodman. TJ Brown 18th. Brendan Oakes 19th. And Matthew Barron in 20th place. So as we spoke earlier, Josh Burden, we saw him near the lead of that race in the later stages after the pit stop, so we'll have to find out what happened to him there. He finished 21st, third lap down, 3 laps down. These are probably actually the first of our retirements here. So Josh Burden, Ashley Thomas, Scott Newton, Matt Stratford, Anthony Mansarella, Michael Hammond, Simon Fiegel, Troy Maguire, Michael Trooper, and Kyle Barlow, who is also a new driver to the series tonight. So good to see him manage to crack the top split too. Ben Smith 31st and Mitchell McLeod in 32nd. Right, so that was a rather interesting race. First of all, looks like we've got Marcelo in the interview room. We might bring him up for an interview as we also welcome race controller Scott Stevens.
Good evening, Trent. How are we going?
Good, mate. How did you see that race?
It was actually quite a good race to watch and do race control with. Majority of the racing was relatively clean and passing was good, so it was definitely one of the easier ones to look after for sure.
That's good stuff. We might bring Marcelo up for an interview now. Marcelo, welcome to the Slipstream commentary box. Looks like a good battle with your teammates out there for the podium positions, but you ended up getting there in the end. Just talk us through your race.
Hey guys, yeah, no, it was a good race. It was very close up there. I guess the slipstream helps a lot, but it was always going to be a very close one because there's a lot of quick guys in this series now. But yeah, overall I'm really happy. It was a good race for me overall. Didn't really make any crucial errors, which I'm happy with. We know that that can be very unforgiving if you make a couple mistakes up in the mountain. But no, overall it was a clean race, and I couldn't be happier.
Was there any team orders there towards the end of that race to sort of keep it clean and not bang wheels, or were you told, or was there any to let you win, Riley win, because Riley's having a good run in the championship at the moment. So was there anything over the radio comms between the team about that sort of stuff?
Yeah, there was a bit of talk. Nothing specific to who we're going to let win, but more just early on in the stint, you know, keeping it clean, not doing anything that'll slow us down, especially when the pit stop windows were open, because we didn't want to get jumped or anything if we were overtaking. But towards the end of the race, it was also just about keeping the back to, sorry, I can't remember who it was, but in fourth, we just made sure that they didn't have a chance. But they actually, I'm pretty sure, come the last lap, they were battling James Keane. But yeah, besides that, it was all go for us three in the last 5 laps, so it was good fun between us.
Yeah, it did seem like you guys weren't really pushing too much, I guess, at the front there. Like you were swapping positions, but you weren't going for aggressive passes and making sure that plenty of room was given so that you could maintain that gap. It was Josh Anderson who was in 4th place behind you, and it wasn't until the last 2 laps, I guess it was, where it was time to take the gloves off and go for that win, and that did allow Josh Anderson to catch up to the back of you guys, and he almost made it to James Keane. I think it was a tenth of a second between James Keane and himself at the end there. So well done for you guys. Andrew, did you have any questions for Marcelo?
Yeah, well done, Marcelo. Congratulations on the win. You guys have got a massive team from ERA in here. How big's the team outside of the drivers? Do you guys have a lot of guys doing your strategy? Do you have a lot of talk going on? Does each of your teams have a spotter, or do you just get out there and drive?
A lot of the work that goes on out is done by the drivers. In terms of spotters, if there's any of the boys that are on TS practicing, say a different series, and they happen to be on, they might just spot for us, help us out a bit with the way the race is going. But besides that, we all chip in a bit, give each other information on when we're learning tracks, whether it be what gears to take corners or what we're feeling in the car. We all just help each other out, so there's not really like anyone specific that's outside the car helping out, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, great. We also mentioned earlier on in the broadcast that we've never had a dual champion, and I don't think Michael Schreier is actually racing this season, and he's probably the only other person that could do another series win. Obviously, Riley is up there as well, and he's pushing for the win. Probably puts a little bit more pressure on you, and have you thought about that?
I haven't thought about it like that actually, but yeah, definitely Riley and Ben Smith as well. They're both extremely quick drivers, so and they're both in my team, so I can't really get too aggressive at them on this track. But no, it's definitely going to make the championship very interesting, and hopefully it stays tight right to the end for you guys and us as well. It makes it all the much better as well.
Yeah, definitely, and you guys are definitely the team to beat. I think it's going to be hard to kick you guys off. I mean, I guess you guys might even get top 3 steps of the podium for the team challenge as well.
Yeah, that's going well. The constructors, I guess you could say, it's going really well for us. Yeah, Ben, Riley, and I, we're both pretty big fans of open wheelers, so we don't, we seem to pick it up pretty well, and we all enjoy racing it.
Yeah, excellent. Congratulations again, mate. Good win.
Yes, big thanks to Maverick and Daredog for being our main sponsors, and thanks to you guys for hosting it, eh? Cheers. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, very disappointing. Going into turn 2, Matty Barron went to make a move on me, and we had a bit of a neck code, or a big neck code, I should say. And pretty much stuffed my car. From there, lost it going down Sky High, and yeah, that was the end of that. No, sorry. Yeah, it was going great. Like you said, I had a shot at the win while I was in the lead group there, so it's always a bonus. Never going to complain about that. So yeah.
Yeah, mate. Look, I saw you're on grid position 5, so I obviously started up near the front. When you're going into the race, do you have a pit strategy already sorted out, or are you making that up on the fly based on what the race conditions are and what happens on track?
Normally I'll have a rough idea, but Bathurst being Bathurst, massive toes and all that. I was just making up on the fly. I was going to actually pit. I was thinking about pitting a lot earlier than I did, but yeah, I think it worked out alright when I pitted. If I hadn't finished the race, it would have forced me to. So
Yeah, it's a pretty tough track to pass. How'd you find the slipstream and the toe? Was it an advantage to you, or you didn't really get much out of it?
yeah, massive advantage. My fastest lap of the race is 6 or 7 tenths quicker than my qualifying lap, so yeah, massive advantage. I think I did 3 in the race, might be wrong, but yeah, so massive advantage.
Yeah, excellent. Is there any tracks coming up that you're really looking forward to, or is Bathurst pretty much the pinnacle?
Can't get much better than Bathurst, I don't think. I'm actually not too sure what's coming up, so I'll have to look at the schedule and see if I'm on a race or help the boys out in the race control and see what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I think Motegi's next. I'm not sure if that's a day or night race. Trent, you might be able to tell us that.
I'd actually have to have a look what our next track is. Put me on the spot there now.
It is Motegi. It is Motegi.
There you go. At this stage, yeah, we'll have to make a decision, I guess, whether or not it's at night time or not. It is the full track. It'll be the Grand Prix track. It won't be. We have run Motegi East at night in this series before, but yeah, we're doing the Grand Prix version
Put you on the spot,
this
Joshua.
time.
Night or day? There you go, John.
I didn't even hear that, to be honest.
It was night.
Okay. I guess we'd have to check the lighting. These cars obviously don't have headlights, so if the track's too dark, it might be a bit of an issue. The track's not lit up too well, so yes.
So yeah, unfortunate, Josh, but hope to see you back. Obviously, you're one of the quick guys and usually up the front, so we'll look forward to seeing you in the next couple of rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll fly and race if I can.
Is there any sponsors you'd like to shout out to before you go?
Yeah, GT Omega, and all the guys at AFF.
Oh, thank you a lot, Josh. Might bring. I think it's Dave Oliver. I think might bring him up next. G'day, Dave. Welcome to the Slipstream commentary box. Did you have a race out there tonight?
Yes, I did, but I was in this second server.
How did the race go in Split 2?
Interesting. A bit of carnage at the start. I started down the back of the grid. I think I started 27th, I think it was. Just missed times and all that, and pretty much qualifying ended as on my outlap. So yeah, it was interesting. Had a bit of an incident on the first lap up the top where some guys have got together and we've gone, okay, he's safe up against the fence, and then all of a sudden just comes across in front of a group of 4 cars. Car behind me clobbers me, flips me over. So, you know, thank goodness for the fast repair and got going and had some pretty good battles with the brothers Ford during the race, and yeah, ended up coming home in 3rd. So I'm actually pretty happy about that. If I was going to get a top 10, I would have been happy. So.
Oh, that's yeah, good. I was actually just about to bring our race controller from Split 2 up, but he's disappeared, so I guess we won't do that. I was also going to bring up Scott Newton, and he's got his mic muted at the moment, so we can't bring him up. So, Andrew, any other questions you might want to ask Dave?
Yeah, Dave, you've done a couple of these. Have you been in the series for a couple of seasons now, or is this your first?
No, I have been in the series before. Just yet, I haven't been able to race as regularly as I've wanted recently in this last season or 2. But yeah, I have done a few full seasons. So yeah.
How are you finding it? It's getting very, very competitive, very hard to get into the top split. I mean, there's really not much in it anymore. I mean, if we could, we'd obviously double the grid so we could have everybody in the one split because everyone deserves to be in the first split. But it's getting really hard to get in there.
Yeah, it is. When I first started racing, it was towards the end of a few seasons ago. And then I think I did a round or 2. And then all of a sudden, the first round of the next season, that exploded. And you had all the, a lot of fast guys coming in. And then that season kind of progressed. And then you had other guys taking notice, going, oh, that looks a lot of fun. So, yeah, it's progressively, a lot more people have taken notice and jumping on board, which is a testament to, the admins and all that are running a great series, and, the help with, with this broadcast and the previous one that Bernie ran, so it's a great testament to everyone involved.
Yeah, it's definitely really taken off. It's getting more and more popular, and it's on a larger scale, getting a lot more drivers, a lot more, I guess, airtime as well. Do you do much on the Star Mazda outside of the series?
To be honest, not really. I had a muck around on the Saturday night for Scops, but yeah, it's pretty much I just, have if I can make it lately, yeah, I'll just jump in for SMAC. So
What's your favourite track in the Star?
Oh, Bathurst is pretty fun. It's not forgiving, but if you can nail it, like, millimeters off the fence and all that, it's, that's a lot of fun. So probably, as much as it's cliche, Bathurst is pretty fun. So be interesting come some of the newer tracks coming out. Even Le Mans, Nürburgring, or something like that. It may be Le Mans will probably be a little bit long with the straights, but yeah, I think attacking with this car around Nürburgring will be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think we had a fun race. I think it was at Long Beach, or maybe that was around. I'm not really too sure.
I think
It
it was a
was
fun
a
race.
it was a week 13 Long Beach race.
That was fantastic. I mean, this car around the street circuits is quite amazing.
Yeah, it was, especially having to Scandinavian flick / clutch kick it into that hairpin at the last corner. If I wish I had a handbrake, I would be pulling that all the time.
Absolutely, that's it. All right, mate. You had a good run, so congratulations on your race, and I hope to see you in the next round.
Excellent. Thank you very much, guys.
Before you go, Dave, do you want to give a shout out to any sponsors, mate?
Sure. Yeah, pretty much to the Osram guys, CSR Fab, Light Up Balgara, Newline, yeah. So yeah, thanks for our
Awesome.
sponsors and thanks to the team.
Alright, thanks a lot, Dave.
Thanks, guys.
Alright, next in the commentary box we've got Scott Newton, who I think had a eventful race and ended up finishing a little bit down the order. Scott, you've been sitting patiently down there in the interview channel for a while. Just talk us through your race. How did it go, and did you come to grief there towards the end of the race?
Hey Trent, hey Indy. Yeah, I had quite an eventful race, especially in the first 5 or 6 laps, jumping a couple of guys at the start, which was really good. Because I didn't expect to make the top split with the amount of practice that I had, and yeah, just the amount of streaming that was available was just intense. Whether to pass, not to pass, because if you lose the draft, you lose so much time. With the guys in front, and obviously if you're the lead car, get caught up quite quickly as well. If guys behind you in the draft, so yeah, it was a really good race, and full credit to the guys around that drive this league.
How did you find driving sort of by yourself? Did you find you could still maintain a fairly sort of okay speed, or is this race just purely about draft, and once you're out of it, that's pretty much game over?
I found that I could keep a consistent pace, but I think that lap times with the draft and non-draft, I think, are at least about a second per lap difference. So it's obviously a lot better to have the draft, and if yeah, you can kind of gap the cars behind if you have a minimum 2-second gap. So yeah, it's obviously a lot better to have it than not, especially around Bathurst.
Yeah, that's true too. Andrew seems to be pretty good at this interview caper, so I might hand you over to him to ask a few questions.
Thanks, mate. Mate, what's your starting method for this car? I mean, there's a lot of people that just drop the clutch and go, and it sort of bogs down a little bit. Others just try to find that sweet spot. I know personally, I find it quite a hard car to get off the line really quick. What's your method?
Sometimes I use the drop the clutch method. Other times I'm able to find that sweet spot. It's a lot easier than the FW31, I'll say that. But with my starts, yeah, I usually clutch start and try and find that sweet spot with the bite point.
You've been in this series for a little while now. I was commenting before. There's a group of guys that came in, and it was pretty clear that probably hadn't done a lot of Star Mazda before. And over the last couple of seasons, they've been getting really, really fast. And I'll put you in that bracket. I mean, you've got some speed. I think your qualifying time was a 2:05.787. It's less than second off pole. What's your goal for this season? Is there a particular place in the series or this championship that you want to achieve?
If I manage to attend the rest of the races, hopefully top 15, I reckon would be achievable due to the fact that I've missed the first 2 or 3 races. But it also depends on my availability as well with work and all that sort of thing. But mainly for me, this is a break from the FW31 because I'm trying to stay current in that car for Pro Series, the qualifying series for the Pro license next year.
Right, yeah, I guess that's going to take a lot of commitment and a lot of time. How do you feel jumping from car to car? Are you adaptable quite easy?
Yeah, definitely. Adaptable, especially with the fixed setup. I find that quite stable, which is really good. Obviously, gets a lot of guys to jump in. Comparing this and the FW31, it's only really races on the weekends that happen with everyone practicing and that for F1. But with the Star Mazda and the fixed setup, it's everyone's got the same setup, and it's who can be the better driver, which shows everyone's talents.
Yeah, that's right. We were saying before in the broadcast, there really isn't much difference between, well, all drivers really. It's just about who can punch out those consistent fast laps that's going to make the difference at the end of the race.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thanks, mate. You had, I guess, an interesting race, probably not the result you want. Hope to see you back next week. Is there anybody you want to thank, any sponsors you want to thank for helping you out?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Apex Racing Academy and Apex Racing UK for all their support, and also to Leo Bodmer Sim Steering, Precision Sim Engineering, and GTA Motor Racing. Cheers, Andy. Alright, cheers, Trent. All the best.
Mate, if you have me back, I'll probably hang around. I wouldn't say I'm a good commentator, but I'm an even worse driver, to be honest. No, thanks very much for having me, as always. Bathurst delivered a very interesting race. I'm going to put you on the spot now. And what do you think about? I know we've mentioned it offline a few times about maybe doing a surprise split 2 broadcast one time.
I've just realised my mic was on mute, so all that conversation our viewers are listening to probably doesn't make sense. Yeah, so I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, split 2. Yeah, split 2 race. So yeah, we'll be looking at running split 2 broadcast this season. So just to give those guys in split 2, get the viewers to know them and watch their battles because they're just as intense as split 1 races are. So that's certainly something that we'll definitely look forward to in the future. And just what the viewers would have missed me talking about before was the next few rounds coming up being Twin Ring Motegi Grand Prix track, Indianapolis Speedway, the road version, and we're actually doing the oval version this season as well. So it'll be the first official oval race in the Star Mazda Australian Championship.
Yeah, really looking forward to the rest of the season. Should be good. And what's really interesting is listen to some of the guys that were in the second split roll out some names which usually you'd find in the top split. So that's really interesting. I think this is just getting more and more competitive every round.
It's definitely, and just as a matter of interest, we've had 96 official entrants to the series. Those are people who have registered in the thread on the forum that they are wanting to participate. And up till this round, we had actually 73 or 74 actual race participants so far in only 3 races. So again, that's a big shout out to all the guys and girls that come and participate and race every week and make this series what it is. It seems to be that no matter what sort of skill level, what sort of pace you have, there's always seems to be someone that you can actually have a race with when like tonight, for instance, there was 63 or 64 odd cars had joined the practice servers before the race, so it's definitely a good turnout this week, and obviously Bathurst has probably helped that a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. And look, the whole mood of the series is great as well. I mean, we don't have any feuds going on. We don't have people that are angry. Everyone's pretty courteous. There's some really close racing, and generally, if there is an incident, it's a racing incident or it's a lapse of concentration. Nobody's trying to bully anybody off the track or anything like that. So it's just a really good series for people to get into and have some good, close, clean racing.
Yeah, that's true. I think the aggro, as you said, is certainly fairly limited in this series. And I think that also helps to promote the good racing. You know that you can race side by side cleanly with a lot of the guys in this series. So I think that's a pretty enjoyable part for a lot of the drivers.
Yeah, it is, and it's just going to get stronger going forward. I think we'll have to take up some more jobs to pay for the extra servers that we're going to have to put up soon.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of which, I'd like to now shout out to our sponsors. Monster Designs, been with G&T Racing since the get-go, and quickbeds.com for accommodation booking. G&T Racing is part of the QuickBeds grassroots fundraising program. When you use code 1564 when booking accommodation, we do get donations from QuickBeds themselves that do filter back into this series and also to pay for broadcasting and all that sort of stuff. So big shout out to those that have actually used the service in the last 3 months. There have been a few occasions, so all that money is definitely going to get synced back into the series for hosting and all that sort of stuff. So thank you to everybody. Now it's time to wrap up. This is Slipstream. This is our inaugural broadcast, so thank you to Andrew Gaines for joining me up here in the commentary box. Andrew, is there any other departing words you wish to say?
Mate, thanks for having me. I can't wait for next round. The racing's fantastic. Get over to YouTube, subscribe to Slipstream, and enjoy the broadcast.
Yep, that's true. Give us subscribe, give us a like, and maybe leave a comment to let us know what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong, and any feedback you give us, we can try to improve the broadcast as we go. So, on behalf of Andrew Gaines, I am Trent Thomas. You've been watching Slipstream. Thank you for your viewing.